With all the different brokerages models going out there and everyone excited about this brokerage and that brokerage, well, I'm here to break down LPT in an honest review. This is the thing that I look for all the time. And now that I've been part of the ecosystem for a while and I've got to see the brokerage progress, I'm going to break down for you an honest review of what's going on with LPT, why people like it, why people don't, and everything in between. So we're going to break that down in a super short but very concise video. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rattle off a lot of the pros. I'm going to also go over some cons and some big question marks as to whether or not this thing has legs in the future. Now, I believe it does, full disclosure, but there are some things you have to navigate, and it probably will answer some questions for anybody considering LPT or anything else. So let's jump right into that. Now, before we jump in though, make sure that you subscribe to the channel because we don't just talk about LPT or brokerage models, although that is a big part of what we do because we want to keep you informed and we think it's vital for your business to know what's going on. But in addition to that, we also provide really great training and it's all free. We have sellers training, how to generate more leads, growing teams, all the things that you care about in your real estate business, we cover here at Real Estate CEOs. So I hope that you take the time, click that little subscribe button, and then also like and share this video with anybody you think might find this helpful. All right, first, let's jump into some of the pros. Now, taking a look at this, you got to think about LPT in the time I'm shooting this video is just barely over 2 years old. So in 2 years, what are some of the things that they've done that I really think are hitting the mark, right? First off, just one obvious thing is the amount of agents they've attracted in those short 2 years. It's already over 11,000 agents, and that is the fastest growing brokerage in U.S. history. You hear me talk about that a lot on the channel, and it's the fastest growing brokerage in U.S. history for a reason. They're not paying people out. They're not buying people's businesses. As a matter of fact, what they're really doing is just providing amazing tools and infrastructure for people, especially with their dual compensation plan and stock, all that really fun stuff. So 11,000 agents, I think it speaks for itself. In addition to that, here's one really interesting thing. So I'm here in May, but looking back at April and February, LPT, a 2-year-old company, is already doing over $1 billion a month in revenue. So here's what that means. That is really massive because 2 months in a row doesn't necessarily make it an economic trend, but man, that is great, especially in a tough market like right now. And so I think that boasts really well because a lot of people might think, hey, just because it's a brokerage that's growing fast doesn't necessarily mean they're actually attracting people who actually sell and actually helping them be more productive. So when you see that sales number, now you understand that, hey, people that go there either already are selling and make the move, which means producers are making the move, or B, people that make the move are starting to sell even more. So both of those are actually true, but it's great to see those back-to-back $1 billion plus months. Not only that, but there's another thing that I think is a pro, but it also comes up in my cons as well, which is they're only open in 27 states right now. The pro side of that is, whoa, fastest growing brokerage in U.S. history, doing really well financially. So all these things work out really well for people that are shareholders in that. Now that said, that's huge because it's only in 27 states. A lot of the other brokerage that LPT is growing faster than, they were open in all 50 states well before they hit 11,000 agents. So you can only imagine what happens on the remainder of those states that are yet to be open, California being one of them. So that's really huge. Another thing that they rolled out a while back, predates me, but I think it's really great to point out, is dual sponsorship. They do have the opportunity to do dual sponsorship. Without getting into all the details, it just creates a better environment, better working atmosphere. People aren't going to war over trying to get people to recruit into the company. It's not like that. It's a really harmonious environment where people are working together to help grow the overall brokerage, and the numbers speak for themselves. In addition to that, listing power pack, man, it works. I mean, we're using it on our team. I'm seeing teams all over the country use it, individual agents all over the country using it. As a matter of fact, we just had a mastermind last week that all about it. One of our agents is in there showing us exactly how he uses it in the listing presentation, and he's batting 1,000 right now since he started using that listing power pack. So that's huge. It's great because it's a cornerstone, because when you get something like that for free on every single listing, that's a really powerful thing. So it's amazing to have that. In addition to that, there's the dual compensation plan, the ability to choose the 5K cap or the 15K cap based on where you're at in your business and what your goals are and what you're seeing for the future of your business. That is still a huge pro because people are absolutely loving it. They don't know why they're paying into these other systems that are more expensive, the one size fits all, unless you're on a team. That's bogging a lot of people down in the real estate industry right now. So LPT has solved for that, and I think it's really amazing that they did that. In addition to that, their rev share, the way that they've already started where everybody else eventually gets to at that 50%, that creates a more sustainable model for everybody involved. Every other company, the big incumbents, right, the EXPs, whatever, they are already moving down to a model that is where LPT started. And so here's what I say. I believe LPT actually fixed the rev share model, and now everyone's having to adjust to match that. And over time, everyone will pretty much be at the exact same scale in terms of how much of the revenue share they pay out. The thing is, LPT just nailed it out the gate. Pretty interesting. Also, they have what was Chime and now Lofty. That's a huge pro because that is an amazing CRM, and the price that you can get it at LPT is ridiculous compared to what you would pay for on the open market. So that's a huge pro. It also comes up in the cons in just a second. I'll break that down for you as well. The last piece is the luxury collection, the luxury network that they just launched. I think this is by far one of the most innovative things that they are doing, and it has to do with putting the right tools in the hands of agents that want to sell more luxury listings, that want to increase their price point, that want to network better and get more of those big clients. I actually just put up a video about that as well, and it's a great program, and I think it's light years ahead of what everybody else is doing in the luxury market. And it's because we have a marketing background, right? The CEO and founder, that's where he started, was in marketing, and he's a luxury buyer, owner, investor himself, so he really understands that at the highest possible level, and different designations like ranch and farm, things like coastal, those things are really helping agents differentiate. So I think that's really massive. Also, there are some things that are yet to be released, so that'll be coming up in our questions to be answered section. Although I do see them as pros, since they haven't been delivered yet, I can't necessarily put them in as a pro just yet. Let's jump into some of the cons because they're real. So one is there's a con with not opening up all 50 states. It's a challenge because there's people who see the model, they like it, they want to do it, they know that it's the right thing for the business, and they can't move yet because LPT has not opened up a given state. And that's a challenge because people see the model, they want to be part of it, and they want to see it grow. And maybe they're also looking because their current brokerage isn't the right fit. Well, if LPT is not open in their state, it's not even an option. So then they go somewhere else that's probably a little inferior to what LPT can provide for them. But by the time LPT opens in their state, they might have already locked in at that brokerage, and they're just going to wait it out and see or give it the year. I've heard a lot of that. That's a con. Now, here's another con, and this isn't a con about LPT. It's much more about the industry in general and what LPT kind of represents. And it's this. There are some people who are at more traditional brokerages or even some of the cloud-based brokerages, and they're just so entrenched, right? They've already got so much revenue share, so much stock, that even though they clearly see that LPT is the right solution for them, that is what's holding them back. And to be honest, I think if you're a solo agent in that situation, more power to you. The challenge is there's a lot of teams that are also stuck there where them and their agents, especially their agents, could be doing so much better because of the tools, because of the support, because of the compensation structure, because of no fees and all these other things that every other brokerage tries to nickel and dime out of you. Well, their agents could be winning at a much higher level in a bigger way, but because they're so entrenched with my rev share or my stock or whatever it is at this other company, they won't uproot and make that change. And again, on an individual basis, I get it. I probably would do the same thing. But when you're looking out for an entire group of people, that can be a con that some people are stuck there. Now, back onto a little bit more specific to LPT. 90 days to get rev share. That's a problem for some people. Right? If you're bringing over a group of people and they start paying into the system and it takes you and you made a move over, within a week or two of them, well, you have to wait 90 days until you start receiving revenue share. I mean, for people that really care about revenue share, it's a big deal, right? It's a quarter of a year. Now, for me, I see the big picture. I think long term. I think I'm in this for the long haul. So for me, 90 days is not a big hurdle to jump, but I totally get it, and it definitely ranks in the column of cons. Here's a real life experience that I had that became a con for me until I figured out how to navigate it. So I have a YouTube channel. People get really interested in what it is that we're doing. They want to learn more. They book time with me. They maybe want to join because I've helping them or whatever it is, and they see the value in the brokerage. Well, a lot of times they'll have a question, maybe for the broker. Hey, can I do wholesale deals? Can I do this? Can I do that? And here's the lesson that I learned. The broker team is really the broker team. And here's what I mean by that. They're there to help broker deals and answer questions for agents inside the system. And that's their core focus, and they do a great job at it. Now, I'm used to being able to just tell somebody who's thinking about joining the brokerage, oh yeah, just go ask the broker and connect them directly, right? The problem is the brokers, that's not their job. That's not their responsibility. And I should have known better, but that's just kind of out of habit. I've always just like tagged in a broker thinking, well, they'll answer the question and be able to help me, bring this person over and bring them into the group. And so here's what I learned. Don't do that. And the challenge is that the brokers really are focused on file compliance and helping agents transact. And so they're not necessarily focused on, hey, how many people can we recruit this month? That's not their job. And so that was a con for me because I'm used to doing that, not necessarily because LPT doesn't provide those. As a matter of fact, once I got connected with the recruiting and onboarding team, it made it way easier to get all the information that they needed. But I'll be honest, there was somebody who I dropped the ball on because I went direct to the broker instead of tagging in the recruiting team. And that wasn't made super obvious to me out the gate, and I'm not saying it was their responsibility to tell me that, but I wish I had known that because I probably would have had a little bit more success at the start when it came to onboarding people into the system. So that was a con for me. Now here's what I mentioned in the pros, but it's actually a con depending on how you navigate this. But now I firmly believe it's in the pro column, but I'm going to talk about it as a con, and this is it. It's Lofty, the CRM. When they first rolled out Lofty, it was free, and the problem was it was the Enterprise Edition. Meaning it wasn't very customizable. It was basically like you were a user inside of a giant team. And that's not great because you might do different things in your CRM than I do. And so we shouldn't be playing by the same set of rules. We should be able to customize it. So that was very frustrating for a lot of people, especially people who were already using Lofty and then came over to LPT and were like, great, I'm going to now get this thing that was this much for free. Well, they found out it wasn't customizable, wasn't helping, and a lot of people got frustrated. So LPT fixed that, and what they did is they introduced different levels. So you can still jump on for that one-time fee if you want to use Lofty through LPT on the Enterprise for like $99 one time. Great. And by the way, if you're a solo agent just starting your business, it's going to be good enough for most of what you need. Then they also brokered a really good deal for individuals and for teams that want the fully customized platform. For individuals, it's $49 a month. That's killer. That's like 10% of what it would cost you normally. In addition to that, they have the team account, which would be thousands, but they have that available for $199 a month. That's massive savings, and it turned what was a con into a pro. All right, so coming in for a landing here, now it's like, what are the question marks? What are the things that, okay, up and coming are their challenges? So one is, I like the fact that they only pay out that rev share model. I think we talked a little bit about that a second ago. But what's really cool is that creates a sustainable model. So I don't think there's any questions about the sustainability. IPO, what's that going to be? Is it going to be 600 million? Is it going to be $1 billion? Is it going to be closer to $2 billion? That's to be determined. Way above my pay grade, but that's a question to ponder. Will they continue to grow at this rate? Right? You want to see, is it actually going to get to the 30, 40, 50, 60,000 agent mark, or is it going to kind of flatline and the initial excitement is all that's going to be there? Now, I don't know that for a fact. The conversations that I'm having on a regular basis with teams and individuals makes me really excited and believe that it will continue to grow, but who knows? You never know what comes of it. Now, here's what I do know about being a privately held company versus a publicly held company. You get to make decisions and make changes on the fly, unlike publicly held companies. Well, those ones, it's a little bit slower to make those adjustments. So we'll see, but that might be post IPO if it does have any slowdown effect. So the other thing is this, LPT Connect 2.0. It's something that I've done a video on before. We have some videos out announcing it and where it will be. We're about 90 to 120 days from its full-on launch. And so that's a big question mark. Now, it should be kind of casted or projected, should I say, as a pro. Where LPT Connect 2.0 is really going to excel and where it's going to add a lot of value is in the collaboration edition and the luxury packages. As people start using this type of technology to collaborate with one another, to train, to develop, to share information for referrals, and then also for allowing others to run their open houses and market their properties so that they could get better exposure, that's going to be a really big key factor. I think it will be a reason that people start to join, if only for that, right? Even people that have looked at the model previously, when they see LPT Connect 2.0, they might see that as a huge advantage, which I know I'm really excited for. So all that said, there's obviously a lot of pros, some cons, and some stuff that's still up in the air. Now, why I decided to proverbially hitch my wagon to LPT is because the leadership. The leadership, Robert Palmer, everybody else at corporate, they really have a vision for what they want to do. And here's the thing, they're actually accomplishing it. They're accomplishing it faster than they probably expected. And so there are going to be some growing pains and all these things, but they're super transparent. This is what I really like is every Monday we jump on that motivation call. Every Friday they're talking about Real Estate First Fridays. And they're very transparent on what the goals are, what the targets are, what the resources are, where they're falling short, where they're exceeding expectations. And so to me, it's one of those don't bet on the horse, bet on the jockey type of conversations. And the jockey very much is Robert Palmer and that group, and they are crushing it. And it's really refreshing. I was even on a call earlier today with a big potential recruit in California and Robert, one of the VPs. And what I can say is this, they really have a crystal clear understanding of where they want to get to and what it's going to take. And I see a lot of people rallying behind that. And so that's a really big thing for me as an honest reviewer here. I'll continue to do this every 6 months or so, where I just give you, hey, here's exactly what I've experienced, some personal stuff, some things that I've heard about, and just share with you openly what that looks like. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, leave them in the comments below. Any questions, leave them in the comments below. And if you want to learn what it might look like for you to make a move, whether it's you, your team, your brokerage, anybody, make sure you go down in the description below, click the link. You can book one-on-one time with me, and I'll break it all down for you. And here's what I know. Everyone's circumstance is different. You should take the time. You owe it to yourself and to your business to see what's true for you and if LPT is going to be the right fit. Until next time, happy selling.